I was contacted by the gentleman, House and Asphalt Paving, pleading that he be paid for the work that was performed out on Morton Road. He says he's been working for Jones County for over 15 years. Never had a problem, and now he, is a small business that needs his money to survive on. I said, well, I can't promise you anything. All I can do is I can tell you I can present it to the board and present your argument, which I have provided y'all with a copy of the letter, and he has a bill for paving section Morris Stevens Road for $18,129. He's asking for your consideration.
Mr. Chairman, if I could say this before we have any discussion on it. As I told the board at the last meeting we had when the vote was to not pay it, I was not familiar with that situation, had not had a chance to look into it at all, and I answered the board members' questions as best I could with that limited information I had. Subsequent to Mr. Underwood getting that letter, which you have all seen, and which he also sent to me, I have had a chance to look into it. I know several commissioners inquired about the possible cost of the legal fees and whether the legal fees could approximate what the cost of this bill was, this invoice. After looking at it, I do think there's a possibility, if not a probability, that the matter could go to a jury trial. It's not, in my opinion, probably something that a judge could decide on a summary judgment motion and just with a small amount of time. I think it would take more time. And of course, the more time it takes, the more expensive it gets. So I wanted to revisit. I didn't want to leave the board members with an impression of something that may well not be the case. If a suit were filed and it cost more than the bill is for this $18,000 payment, I sure didn't want to be in a position of coming back and y'all saying later on, well, wait a minute, this you said it wouldn't be. So I think there is a chance it would be. I think if this money particularly could be paid out of LMIG, as I understood it would be, which is state money, it wouldn't cost us anything. And I think the owner of this company is definitely going to file a lawsuit if we don't pay it, judging from the letter. I think I don't know him, but it sounds like he's a small business owner. I think the word he used was that his business would be devastated if it wasn't paid. I think if we don't pay it, we're going to put him in a position of having to file a suit against us. If he does, then we get into the proposition I was just discussing about the cost. And I'm certainly willing to defend it, be glad to if we get sued, that's what I do. But I don't want to see us spend money unnecessarily for a matter that we can resolve without costing the county anything if we pay it out of the LMIG money. So I understand what the board did with the vote not to pay it. I haven't discussed it with the chairman, but I assume he got the message loud and clear. I don't know if he's going to revisit this tonight or not or consider paying it, but I would say I don't think anybody in the future should expect to get paid unless work is contracted for in the normal course of business. But does any board member have any questions?
I guess my concerns, like I brought up at the meeting, was you have the LB money. If we don't spend it, we got to return it back. Isn't that right?
That's mine. I don't know for sure. That's what's been said here. I don't know.
That's the way I've always heard anyway.
Yeah.
And then I asked a question about if legal fees could meet this or exceed this. And based on what you're saying now, it appears that's the case.
Very possible. And I did not know anything about this matter when it was brought up at the last meeting.
And if we send the money back, and if it gets in the court and gets in all the legal fees, then we're going to have to come out of our glory tax to pay for it.
That's correct.
Well, it looks like the best opportunity we can pay for it while the money's there, without going in our glory tax. That's just the way I see it.
If you would like to make a motion, Commissioner, it would require a motion to rescind. Since it was at a prior meeting, it would be a motion to rescind the prior vote and to pay the bill when it comes in.
What do y'all think?
And I guess how long will it be before I have to turn in that LMIG money? Is there a deadline by December?
By the time we get to 2/16.
2/16.
How much longer is that?
Mike has to make a list of everything's been spent.
You have to provide them with an expenditure trail, everything you spent in 2015, it'll make money showing where you spent all that you said you were going to spend. Because it required, it was something like 47,000 Department of Transportation gave, and then it required a match of 30% on top of that. So you had a concrete number you had to come to. And when we got through spending, I believe that it ended up around 30,000 that was left.
32, I believe, was what it said.
So what's the question will be, do we want to wait until the chancellor and some people will have room tax, or do we want to go ahead and pay it before we get a source of money?
Well, in my opinion, this never should have happened to start with, and it's just another incident in the long line of things that the chairman has done. There's LMIG money left over. Who on this board knew that except the chairman? Nobody. And it's this board that decides how the LMIG money is spent. This board decides what roads go on that list that are submitted to the state for LMIG money. Morris Stevens Road was not on there. This board had nothing to do with any of this. In theory, each one of us can call a contractor tonight and have him come do some work. And as long as this board says it's okay, that's all we have to say is, well, the board approved it, which is what the chairman says every time.
And Commissioner, excuse me, we're getting the cart before the horse a little bit before we have this discussion. We really need a motion. If there's no motion, there won't be anything to discuss. But if there's a motion to rescind that vote at the last meeting, then it would need to be a second to have further discussion.
But it's on the agenda as a discussion topic.
I got one more statement, and then I'll be through. I do think the bill should be paid in full by Chairman Hawkins, not by the taxpayers of Johnson County.
Would you put that,
The one that indebted to people.
would you put that into a
Not
motion?
the board.
You put that into a motion? Like Tommy, I have very similar concerns. On the fire station, we experienced this before, and it was to the tune of $89,000. And what happened, we found out about it at another meeting, and then it was made legal in this meeting by commissioners. But our fire department suffered as a result of it. So who's going to suffer after this one? Whether it's LMIG money that could have been used for a legal road or some other road where it needed to go, or some other place, or if it ends up going to court and we take out ad valorem taxes, who's paying for it? You all, taxpayers. There's an issue here, and it's problematic, and Tommy brought it up. Last year we fired a clerk because she got caught shoplifting in another county for $330 or $60, whatever it is. Our chairman just spent $36,000 and nothing happens. So we set a dangerous precedence.
It's 18,000.
Oh, sorry, 18,000, I don't know. And Tommy brings up a very valid point. What recourse, what happens? And we don't have a recourse, because I asked that at the last meeting, I think, at least 3 or 4 different times. So in the letter, it says Wendell authorized it. Wendell can't authorize anything in the county without talking to either his boss or Preston. So there's more than one person involved in this. And the problem is, we're not going to solve the problem, because solving the problem involves removing some people and addressing a more serious issue. And this county's not going to do that. Tonight, somebody's going to motion to make it legal, somebody's going to second, and it's going to get 3 votes. The scary part is the chairman gets to vote in that, and I don't think he should be allowed to vote on something that he calls. He has to recuse himself. Tommy brings up a good point, because if I go out and I encumber 18,000 in the county's name, I'm in trouble. I guarantee you I'm lynched and I'm on the front page of the newspaper. No questions asked. So go ahead with your motion.
Well, see, either way, we're going to have to pay for it. I'd rather use the DOT money or the MIG money than ad valorem tax. I think you would too.
No, we don't have to pay for it. Chairman Hawkins can pay for it.
If he does, if you does.
Payroll deduction.
No, we're gonna pay for taxes, the citizens gonna pay for it.
And the vote tonight on that supports corruption. That's what it is. So whether you agree or disagree, that is the issue.
I have to agree with that too, Mr. Shirley. I know I've been a party to that in the past by approving things that were done illegally. Approving them after the fact, and that is not right. It never has been, never will be.
Commissioner Martin, so you saying that if it doesn't get paid?
That's not a problem. This is not a town hall meeting. This is a discussion with the board.
Okay, fine.
I mean, a lot of people here tonight who probably like to ask questions, we just be here at 2 o'clock in the morning if we're up there. So let's have a motion.
I'm glad to get the county up to pay for it, and we got money to pay for it now, I'll be honest with you about that. I know what was done was not right, it happened,
Over and over and over.
and I agree that it happened. And I agree that we censored that at that meeting. But now it's a question about taxpayers' money versus MIG money, the state money.
This won't stop it, Larry. The board, it'll be the board approved it. That'll be the answer. That'll be the way he justifies it, the way he has done it over and over and over. I'm through with it. Y'all can do what you want.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm torn in a really hard place there. I think the right thing to do would be to go ahead and pay it. I understand your points. I really hate the idea of the county having to come back and pay this later on, and the probability is really good. It's kind of like cutting your nose off to spite your face. But I agree on both sides. Makes it hard.
It's tough, and I hate it for Mr. Buckley, but he didn't have a contract with the county. He had a contract with the chairman. Who gave Wendell permission to sign a contract, John?
Gentlemen, we're not gonna get into that. It's supposed to be professional, respectful dialogue between commissioners and audience members, and that's the way it's gonna be.
Again, I attest that he did not have a contract with the county. But somebody authorized it, and that somebody should pay for it.
And Wendell was told by the chairman to call him and have him do it. Just as simple as that.
You know, Frank, commissioners do things. Say they do something wrong, say I called somebody and know it's a bad name, and they sue me, right? And that limits $25,000 they can get or something like that.
I don't think, not that I know of, I don't think there's a limit.
Well, I'm just saying that if the chairman got sued, or Wendell got sued, whoever who the parties are, they still would have that liability.
You mean because of this situation?
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be the chairman getting sued, or Wendell, it would be the county, would be who would be sued for the debt.
And that's the way I see it too, because the bottom line is if it was either one of us, the county's going to have to write the check.
For the first 25,000.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about with our, yeah, with insurance?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be covered on something like this anyway. What that insurance covers is wrecks. If we have a county vehicle in an automobile accident or something, we get sued for that kind of thing, it wouldn't cover something like this. So we'd have not only for first 25, but anything above 25. Of course, in this case, it wouldn't be but 18 as far as the contract, but then you could have attorney's fees on top of that, not only for the county's attorney fees, but possibly the business owner, if they prevail.
But could it come before the board, I guess, to the point where it gets so high that the board may want to settle, that it doesn't make this up to attorney fees get up to $50,000 that you want to try to settle, it can make it go away, or there's just no limit to what it could be then?
Well, there's no set limit, but I mean, there's a limit. I mean, I think all the attorney's fees, $18,000, depending on whether we had to pay the business owner's fees, if they prevailed. We wouldn't even be in a position of possibly paying their attorney's fees unless they prevailed. And if they did, then they would say we went bad faith, and they would ask the court to award their attorney's fees. And of course, we would have our own attorney's fees and costs, went over.
We still have our own fees, even if they want.
Right.
And all that would be added up, both sides. It's obvious we're pretty split here.
Well, it stays like it is unless somebody makes a motion to rescind that. That's, nobody's gonna make that motion. It stays like it is from the last meeting. That's all.
I thought about this a good bit since all this happened. And I still think it's something not to go ahead and pay. But on the same side that I understand all of it. That's my honest opinions.
So like I told you, I made a quick decision, they had to go again, I'd do it the other way. They had the road ready, we had the money left over, wasn't gonna cost the taxpayers nothing.
Mr. Chairman, you have been the chairman for 11 years. You have been to countless training classes. You know the procedure. You know that quick decisions by one commissioner, that doesn't go. You know how this is supposed to be done. There are no executive decisions made by this board, by any one commissioner. It takes 3 commissioners to make an executive decision for this county. You know what you did was wrong. You knew it when you did it because you've done it
Commissioner,
so many
don't
times.
direct your comments to the chairman. If you want to say something, just say it, but don't get into commissioners addressing each other.
All right, I believe you do it from the beginning. It's because you've done it so many times, because he has done it so many times. There's no excuse for it, there never has been. But it keeps getting swept under the rug to keep from embarrassing the county, the very taxpayers that we're here to represent.
Well, again, unless somebody wants to make a motion, it stays like it is. Somebody gonna make a motion?
I'd like to, but I would say this. If he, Tommy, I'd make it just let the smirk on your face. I think,
Larry, you can't
but
have
the
it
thing
every way.
is,
You gotta go
I
one way or the other.
think that, you know, Preston, like Daylon would say, he's right in the middle of it. If he voted for it, I mean, and if he didn't vote for it, it's just a 2-2. My only real
He doesn't have a legal reason to accuse himself.
Yeah. I just hate to see the county come up and have to pay that additional money. And they may or may not, we don't know that. I'd rather see it paid with elevated money than ad valorem tax. Because ad valorem tax, every citizen in Jones County pays that bill.
So that LB money is tax money,
The elevated money comes from the state.
and that's where our money goes.
We must match 1/3 of it.
It's tax money.
Match 1/3 is still taxpayer money.
I realize that. I just have just time to make a motion, Frank.
Was it not a motion, Mr. Pitts?
Nothing in that, sir.
All right.
I'd like to, simple fact, it would save the ad valorem tax money. But I understand exactly what's been said here.
Mr. Chairman, it looks like that vote stays like it is, and we might as well move on.
Now, department heads, Don?
Yes, sir. I've got one thing, Chairman.